So in this lesson, what I'm going to teach you is how to determine the order of a reaction based on its graph. And so as you can see in this equation here, which will always be given to you, if a reaction is first order, then its y-axis will be ln of the concentration of AT, that's a concentration after a given amount of time, and this is going to be a line, so it's going to be a straight line with a negative slope, that's the k, the rate constant, plus ln of A naught, which is the initial concentration. So if a graph that has ln of the concentration as the y-axis, if it is linear and has a negative slope, then the reaction itself is going to be first order. Okay? If instead the graph with a y-axis of 1 over the concentration of AT is linear with a positive slope with this equation, then the reaction is going to be second order. And so I'm going to show you how to use your calculator in order to determine that, just in case you're not comfortable using your calculator yet. So what you need to do first is you're going to turn on your calculator, and to be able to plot the points that I gave you in this first example problem, you need to hit Stat and then Edit. Okay? And what you'll notice is I already plugged in these values. These are my x values, and then these are my y values. So plug them in. And then what you will need to do in order to be able to graph this, you're going to hit Second Stat Plot, and you need to make sure that plot 1 is on. And as you can see, it shows L1 and L2. Okay? The last thing you need to do is make sure that the window that you've created is able to show the entire graph. So I'm going to hit Window right now. And if I look at my time, it goes from 0 all the way to 10,000. And so I'm just being a little bit careful. I'm going 100 below where I need to be and 100 above where I want to be. And then the scale, I said 15. It can also be 20. That's fine. Just have it be a reasonable scale based on how wide you're going. So you're going from negative 100 to all the way to 1100. Okay. Then for my y min, I look, and the minimum is 0.803. So I'm going to go down to 0, and then I'm going to go all the way up to 2, because I don't even reach 2. And then my scale is going to be 0.1. All right. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm now going to hit Graph. And I get that. All right. While this might look linear at first, it actually isn't. You can actually see that it's kind of an exponential. It kind of levels off a little bit. Okay. So this is not linear. You'll see what linear looks like in 1 second. And so what I need to do now is I'm going to say, well, in this problem, it tells you to sketch the ln pressure graph. But if you didn't know if it was first order or second order, what you would do is you'd start off and plot the ln of your concentration or of your pressure. And then if that didn't work, if that didn't give you a negative slope, then you would plot 1 over the concentration or 1 over the pressure. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to I'm going to hit Edit. Okay. And then I'm going to do the ln of all of these y values. So I'm going to do the ln of 1. I'm going to do the ln of 0.947. I'm going to do the ln of 0.895, ln of 0.848, and the ln of 0.803. Now, the only thing I have to change, because I know my stat plot's on, I just need to change my window. So my x window is fine. My y window, though, goes into the negative. So I'm going to change this, and I'm going to say that my y min is going to be, let's say, I don't know, -2. My y max can stay as 2, and then my scale is I'm going to put as 0.01. So I'm going to graph this and see what it looks like. Well, if you look right there, let's actually make this window a little bit smaller. So I'm going to do -1 and 1. That was bigger than it needed to be. Okay, so right there, that looks like a much more linear graph, and it is. And notice it has negative slope. Your y is ln of the pressure, which is comparable to concentration, so we can use pressure, that's fine. And so what I want to do is I want to figure out what the equation is for this, because I want to know what the slope is in order to determine my rate constant. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Stat, I'm going to scoot over to Calc, and I'm going to go down to Line Rect. That's going to show me the equation that fits, the linear equation that fits that graph. So L1 is my X list, L2 is my Y list, and so your equation is this. Now notice y is your ln of the concentration, or the pressure in this case. Your A, that's actually your K. So my K, remember it was the negative of my K, so my K would be 2.2 times 10 to the negative fifth plus this value is the ln of the original concentration. All right, so I know that this is a first order reaction because the ln of my concentration, or the natural log of my pressure in the y, creates a graph that has a negative linear slope. And so you can do this also for second order with 1 over your concentration, and you should get a positive linear slope.